Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama Bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Daily Report here on WEIC.US Internet Radio. My name is Chris. I'm joined today by Carl and Dave, and we're going to devote basically the entirety of today's program to the killing of Osama Bin Laden by U.S. Special Forces Sunday night in Pakistan. First of all, guys, just general reactions. Dave, obviously we're all glad that this guy is finally taken care of and we finally captured the world's best hide-and-seek player. Not to, make light of the situation, but he really was hiding for going on 10 years now. How does that make you feel?
I finally feel some closure on this. I've had, some of my friends I've talked to this morning and some things I've read. It's like, well, it's been a decade. What does it matter now? But, I think it really matters a lot. I think that America has been longing for closure after September 11th, and I'm glad that we finally have that closure.
Yeah, I think that this is, one, not necessarily final step, but definitely one of the last steps in the healing process after 9/11. Carl, what about you? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm just still a little surprised. I think this is also the first major news story I heard about on Twitter first.
Really?
Yeah, I was just browsing Twitter last night and noticed that somebody posted a story about this. I turned on the TV, watched the president's speech when he came on eventually, and yeah, I'm still just sort of processing it. It's a little weird. I never expected that to be a news story that would come up.
Yeah, you raise a good point there. Will this be the next "where were you when" type thing? I mean, in our generation, we have "where were you when Challenger, when that disaster struck? Where were you when
Kurt Cobain died?
Okay, yes, where were you when Kurt Cobain died? Where were you on 9/11? What were you doing? And now it will this turn into "where were you when Osama Bin Laden was killed"? I personally saw it on the news scroll that would go, goes along the bottom of TVs on a baseball game on ESPN. ESPN was running it as part of their news scroll.
Yeah, I got it from my AP app. I got a pop-up. It was the first time in quite a while the AP actually sent me what I consider to be actual breaking news. So it was
something other than a celebrity meltdown or something.
Or the royal wedding.
Right, the royal wedding. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Will and Kate. Their thing is going to be overshadowed now by this. Do you guys have any opinion about, or not opinion, but what's your take on the fact that both Adolf Hitler and Osama bin Laden were confirmed dead on May 1st? I mean, it's obviously just a coincidence, but it's a great coincidence.
What you do is May 1st historically for Westerners, it's a pretty big day, even though most people don't realize it. In our ancient culture, May 1st was the beginning of spring, the beginning of a new and brighter future. So the idea of Adolf Hitler and Osama bin Laden both being reported dead, it is slightly symbolic in the fact that we have a brighter future to look forward to.
Yeah, that is a very good point. That May 1st is kind of the day when spring is here and it's a fresh beginning and a fresh start. For us as humans, but also in nature. And personally, I just find that as a great coincidence, I guess, that all of these things have happened on May 1st.
Yeah. Even though we here in the States don't traditionally celebrate May Day like they do in Europe.
Right. But still, we have our maypoles and all of those things every now and then. Someone will do that.
Yeah.
So there was obviously the speech last night by President Obama. He came out and made his remarks from the East Room. Before we get into the actual text of the speech, I find it interesting to note that the speech was conducted during an airing, during the Mountain and West Coast airings of Donald Trump's Celebrity Apprentice, and I'm sure that there was no political strategizing going on there. But
just a humorous coincidence.
Yes, it's just a humorous coincidence, and a small part of me hopes that is President Obama sticking it right back to Donald Trump.
Let's hope. At least he's got a sense of humor.
I can always, give bigger news than you can. Like, there's my birth certificate now, that kind of thing.
There's been a number of humorous reactions from comedians on Twitter and that sort of thing. And there was one person who just speculated how great it would have been if he just walked up the nice long walk to the podium in the East Room, said, "Who wants to see my birth certificate now?" Thrown the mic down and walked away.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, just kind of drop the mic and walk away. Like, what else do you need? I'm still the man. And obviously, we're all. I guess we're just proud of the fact that Obama stuck with this, and and it was noted in a couple of different sources that this was always a kill mission. This was never a capture mission, and it was never intended to bring him home alive or any of that.
Mean, what if they did bring him home alive?
Well,
what are they going to do? They have enough trouble with the people they brought in already.
They stick him in Guantanamo forever.
Yeah, you just put him in Gitmo and let the I'm sure the humanitarian fights there would be out of hand. But yes, and President Obama didn't direct the mission, but watched the mission live on closed circuit television from the Situation Room, and it was always intended to be a kill mission. There was never a
right.
I did read a couple of reports that said that he put up a little bit of fight. There was a small firefight before it ended, and
they shot him in the right eye, right?
Left eye. I think.
Left eye. Okay.
One of the eyes. He got, as is known in the film world, a Mo Green special, old movie thing, pop culture reference. I obviously don't think that was on purpose. I do find it interesting that no one really knows who fired the final shot. Who fired the actual shot.
I'm sure they know.
Well, no, there was a report on, I can't remember where I read it. I think it was an AP report that the firefight was not so intense, but that there were so many people firing that they don't know who got Bin Laden.
Right.
So yeah,
that could be true. It could also be nobody wants to put that person as a target
if I was a Navy SEAL, I'd claim that.
Oh, they may claim. I think they probably personally know. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
And they don't want to put out a name there for a terrorist target.
Before we get to the speech, I think we will take a break. We'll come back with the remarks of President Obama on this occasion, and then move on to some other news regarding this. News from around the world, other takes, and those kinds of things. We will be right back with more right after this.